British butter isn't what you think it is. Walk into any UK supermarket and you'll find dozens of products labelled butter on shelves. Most of them aren't legally butter at all. They're spreads, blends, and butter substitutes engineered to look like butter, sit next to butter, and cost like butter whilst containing as little as 25% actual butter. Here's what nobody tells you. That £2.50 tub you've been buying for years, it's 60% rapeseed oil. The spreadable convenience you're paying for is achieved by diluting real butter with the same cheap oil used in margarine. And Tesco is counting on you never flipping the package over to check. I'm about to reveal the 7 biggest mistakes people make when buying butter, expose which popular butter brands contain barely any butter, show you the 3 butter brands actually worth buying, and teach you exactly how to spot real butter versus engineered spreads. If you've been buying Lurpak Spreadable, can't believe it's not butter, thinking it's close enough to real butter, you need to hear this. Number 1. Buying spreadable butter. The biggest mistake people make is buying spreadable butter, thinking it's real butter that's easier to spread. It's not. Spreadable butter is butter mixed with vegetable oils to keep it soft straight from the fridge. Read the ingredients on Lurpak Spreadable. Butter, rapeseed oil, water, lactic culture, salt. Only 64% of Lurpak Spreadable is actually butter. The remaining 36% is rapeseed oil and water. Compare this to Lurpak unsalted butter. Butter, 1 ingredient. That's real butter. Lurpak Spreadable is butter blended with cheap rapeseed oil and marketed as convenient butter. The same pattern appears across all spreadable butter brands. Anchor Spreadable contains 60% butter. Kerrygold Spreadable contains 63% butter. These products are legally classified as blends, not butter, but they're marketed and displayed alongside real butter to create confusion. A dairy industry consultant told me, spreadable butter is a category invented by marketing departments. Real butter is hard when cold because of its fat structure. Making it spreadable requires adding oils. You're paying butter prices for a product that's 40% vegetable oil. The rapeseed oil used is cheap, refined, and high in omega-6 fatty acids. It's the same oil used in cheap margarine. You're buying premium-priced butter that's been diluted with the same oil that makes cheap spreads cheap. The price doesn't reflect the butter content. Lurpak Spreadable costs around £2.50 for 500 grams. Lurpak unsalted butter costs £3 for 250 grams. Per gram, spreadable is cheaper. But you're comparing 100% butter against 64% butter mixed with rapeseed oil. When you buy spreadable butter, you're paying premium prices for diluted butter. The convenience of spreadability costs you both money and quality. The solution? Buy real butter and leave it at room temperature in a butter dish. It spreads perfectly without adding vegetable oil. Number 2. Thinking all butter is the same. Many people assume butter is butter. It's all cream churned until it separates into butter and buttermilk. But butter quality varies enormously based on what the cows eat and how the butter is made. Butter from grass-fed cows is nutritionally different from butter from grain-fed cows. Grass-fed butter is richer in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin K2, and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA. It's deeper yellow from beta-carotene in the grass the cows ate. British butter is predominantly from grass-fed cows because UK dairy farming is pasture-based. Cows graze outdoors for much of the year. This is why British butter is naturally yellow compared to pale butter from countries where cows eat grain indoors year-round. But even within British butter, quality varies. Some butter is from intensive dairy farms where cows are indoors most of the year, eating concentrated feeds supplemented with some grass. Other butter is from organic farms where cows graze proper pastures without synthetic pesticides. The cream quality matters too. Real butter is made from cream. Cheap butter is often made from cream separated from milk that's been heat-treated multiple times, degrading the milk fat quality. Premium butter uses cream from milk that's been handled minimally. The salt makes a difference if you're buying salted butter. Quality butter uses sea salt or rock salt. Cheap butter uses refined table salt. The salt content varies too. Some salted butter is heavily salted to extend shelf life and mask flavor defects. When you buy butter, you're not just buying fat, you're buying the accumulated quality of the cow's diet, the milk handling, the cream separation, and the churning process. All butter is not the same. Number 3, buying butter. Alternatives. Butter alternatives and spreads are heavily marketed as healthier than butter. This is false. Most butter alternatives are nutritionally inferior to real butter whilst costing similar money. I can't believe it's not. Butter is one of the most successful food marketing campaigns in history. The name itself is genius. It acknowledges it's not butter while suggesting it's so good you won't believe it's not butter. The ingredients reveal what you're actually buying: vegetable oils, water, salt, emulsifiers, preservatives like potassium sorbate, citric acid, flavorings, vitamins, and color. It's vegetable oils, water, and emulsifiers. No dairy, no butter, no cream, just processed oils whipped with water and additives to create something that looks like butter. The same applies to Flora, Vitalite, Pure, and every other butter alternative. They're all vegetable oil spreads engineered to resemble butter whilst being made from completely different ingredients. The health claims are questionable. These products are marketed as healthier because they're lower in saturated fat than butter. But the vegetable oils used are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can be inflammatory in excess. The processing creates trans fats in small amounts, even in products claiming zero trans fats. Anything below 0.5 grams can be labeled zero. A nutrition researcher told me the demonization of butter and promotion of margarine and spreads was one of the biggest nutrition mistakes of the 20th century. We now know saturated fat isn't the villain it was claimed to be. Meanwhile, we pushed people toward heavily processed vegetable oil products with questionable health effects. Real butter contains vitamins A, D, E, and K in natural forms. It contains butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that supports gut health. It contains conjugated linoleic acid, which may have anti-cancer properties. Butter alternatives contain none of these. They contain added synthetic vitamins to make nutrition labels look acceptable. The price is similar to real butter. I can't believe it's not. Butter costs around £2 for 500 grams. Real butter costs around £3 for 250 grams, roughly the same price per gram. You're paying butter prices for processed vegetable oil spreads. If you want butter, buy butter. If you want to avoid dairy, use olive oil or coconut oil. Don't buy engineered butter imitations made from cheap oils and marketed with health claims that don't hold up to scrutiny. But here's something crucial you need to understand. One of the butter brands I'm going to recommend later costs twice as much as standard butter. When I show you the difference in taste, texture, and nutrition, you'll understand why some people consider it the only butter worth buying. But first, let me show you the remaining mistakes most people make. Number 4, not checking butter salt content. Salted butter seems straightforward. It's butter with salt added. But the salt content varies dramatically between brands, and many people don't realize how much salt they're consuming from butter. Lurpak, slightly salted. Butter contains 1.4 grams of salt per 100 grams. A typical 20-gram serving, enough for 2 slices of toast, contains 0.28 grams of sodium. If you eat this at 3 meals daily, you're getting 0.84 grams of sodium from butter alone. That's 14% of the recommended daily maximum from butter. Compare this to President's slightly salted butter, which contains 2.2 grams of salt per 100 grams, 57% more salt than Lurpak. The same 20-gram serving contains 0.44 grams of sodium. The salt content affects taste dramatically. Some people prefer heavily salted butter and find lightly salted butter bland. Others find heavily salted butter too intense and prefer unsalted butter with the option to add salt themselves. For baking, unsalted butter gives you control over salt content in the recipe. Using salted butter adds uncontrolled salt that can throw off carefully balanced recipes. Professional bakers always use unsalted butter for this reason. For cooking, unsalted butter has a slightly higher smoke point because salt can accelerate burning. If you're making brown butter or clarified butter, unsalted is preferable. For spreading on toast or finishing dishes, salt preference is personal, but you should at least know how much salt you're getting. Check the nutrition label and compare brands. The slightly salted label doesn't tell you the actual salt content, which varies significantly. Number 5. Storing butter incorrectly. Butter storage seems obvious, it goes in the fridge. But how you store butter affects quality, flavour, and whether it picks up off flavours from other foods. Butter absorbs odours easily because milk fat is excellent at capturing volatile compounds. If you store unwrapped butter next to onions, garlic, or strong cheese, your butter will taste like those foods. This ruins good butter and makes cheap butter even worse. The butter compartment in fridges is typically warmer than the main fridge section. This keeps butter softer for spreading, but also means it stays closer to temperatures where it can absorb odours and oxidize. Professional chefs store butter in the main fridge section, wrapped tightly in its original foil or in an airtight container. This prevents odour absorption and keeps the butter at a consistent cold temperature. For spreading, restaurants keep a portion of butter at room temperature in a covered butter dish. This makes it spreadable without adding oils. The covered dish protects from oxidation and contamination. They replenish daily from the fridge supply, so the room temperature butter doesn't sit out for more than 24 hours. For cooking butter, freezing works well. Butter freezes successfully for up to 6 months without quality loss. Cut it into usable portions before freezing so you can defrost what you need without repeatedly freezing and thawing. Salted butter keeps longer than unsalted because salt is a preservative. Unsalted butter should be used within a month of opening. Salted butter keeps for 2 to 3 months refrigerated. The butter wrapper matters too. Foil-wrapped butter is protected from light and oxygen. Butter in plastic containers or exposed to light oxidizes faster, developing off flavors. If you buy butter in plastic tubs, transfer it to an airtight container to maximize freshness. Light is particularly damaging to butter. Exposure to light causes photooxidation, which creates rancid flavors within days. This is why butter is traditionally wrapped in foil or stored in covered dishes. Clear plastic containers allow light damage unless the butter is stored in a dark space. Temperature fluctuation is another enemy of butter quality. Taking butter in and out of the fridge repeatedly causes condensation on the surface. This moisture encourages bacterial growth and oxidation. Keep your main butter supply refrigerated and only remove a small portion for immediate use. If your butter develops an off smell or taste, it's oxidized or has absorbed odors. Don't use it. Fresh butter should smell clean and slightly sweet, never sour or cheesy. The color should be uniform. Any discoloration indicates quality degradation. Number 6. Buying butter, based only on price. Butter ranges from under £1.50 to over £6 per 250 grams in UK shops. Many people buy the cheapest, assuming butter is butter. This is a mistake because the price differences often reflect real quality differences. The cheapest butter, typically supermarket value ranges, is made from cream from intensive dairy farms where cows eat concentrated feed. The milk is heavily processed. The butter is churned quickly with minimal aging. It's edible but bland with little flavour complexity. Mid-priced butter, around £2 to £3, is usually from better milk with more careful processing. The cream is higher quality, the butter has more flavour. Brands like Lurpak, Anchor and Kerrygold fall into this category. Premium butter, £4 to £6, is typically from specific regions with quality reputations, organic farms, or traditional churning methods. Butter from Normandy, Brittany or Isigny in France. Organic butter from pasture-fed cows. Cultured butter made with traditional methods. A butter importer explained, well, you can taste the difference between £1.50 butter and £5 of butter. The cheap butter is flat and greasy. Premium butter is rich, complex, and actually tastes like cream. For cooking, cheap butter is adequate. For spreading on good bread or finishing dishes, premium butter is worth the money. The price also reflects the butter making process. Cheap butter is sweet cream butter. Cream is churned directly without fermentation. It's faster and simpler. Premium butter is often cultured butter. Cream is fermented with lactic acid bacteria before churning. This creates a complex, tangy flavour and better texture. If you're baking a cake where butter is one of 12 ingredients, expensive butter probably isn't worth it. If you're making butter cookies where butter is the dominant flavour, premium butter makes a noticeable difference. If you're spreading butter on sourdough toast, premium butter transforms the experience. Buy butter appropriate to its use. Don't waste expensive butter where you won't taste the difference, but don't cheap out on butter where quality matters. The manufacturing scale affects price too. Large commercial dairies produce butter in massive batches using automated equipment. Small artisan producers make butter in traditional churns in limited quantities. The economies of scale mean commercial butter will always be cheaper, but artisan butter delivers different quality characteristics. Some premium butter comes from single estate dairies where one farm controls the entire process from cow to butter. This allows complete quality control but costs significantly more than butter made from pooled milk from multiple farms. Single estate butter often has distinctive flavour characteristics reflecting the specific farm's terroir, the combination of soil, climate and farming practices. Number 7. Not understanding butter labels. Butter labels contain specific terms with legal meanings. Understanding these terms prevents buying the wrong product and wasting money on marketing rather than quality. Butter must contain at least 80% milk fat. It can only be made from milk, cream, and possibly salt. No other ingredients are allowed if the product is labelled simply butter. Spreadable or softer butter means the product contains added oils, usually rapeseed oil, to keep it soft when refrigerated. These are technically butter blends, not pure butter. Salted or slightly salted means salt has been added. The actual salt content isn't standardized. One brand slightly salted might equal another brand salted. Check nutrition labels. Unsalted or sweet cream butter means no salt was added. This is preferred for baking and for people controlling sodium intake. Cultured butter means the cream was fermented with lactic acid bacteria before churning. This creates a tangy flavour similar to creme fraiche. It's traditional in European butter making but less common in British butter. Organic means the milk came from cows fed organic feed on farms meeting organic standards. No synthetic pesticides or routine antibiotics. Usually implies better welfare and pasture access. Grass-fed means the cows ate grass rather than grain. Most British butter is from grass-fed cows by default because UK dairy farming is pasture-based, but some brands specifically market this. Artisan or handmade has no legal definition and is marketing language. It might mean small batch production or might mean nothing. Check actual ingredients and production methods. British butter means the butter was made in Britain from British milk. This supports British farmers and usually means fresher butter with less transportation. AOP or PDO is a European certification meaning the butter comes from a specific region and is made according to traditional methods. This is the highest quality designation for European butter. Understanding these terms helps you buy what you actually want. If you want pure butter, avoid anything with spreadable in the name. If you want a tangy flavour, look for cultured butter. If you support organic farming, look for organic certification, not vague natural or artisan labels. The ingredient list tells you everything you need to know. Real butter lists, cream and possibly salt. That's it. If you see rapeseed oil, palm oil, water, emulsifiers or preservatives, it's not pure butter, regardless of what the front label claims. Now let me show you the 3 butter brands actually worth buying in the UK. Number 3. Yeo Valley Organic Butter. Yeo Valley Organic Butter is British butter from Somerset Organic Dairy Farms. The milk comes from cows that graze organic pastures without synthetic pesticides or routine antibiotics. The ingredients are organic cream and salt for salted versions, or just organic cream for unsalted. Nothing else. Pure organic butter from pasture-fed cows. The organic certification ensures genuine welfare standards. The cows graze outdoors when the weather permits. They eat grass and organic feed, not concentrated grain-based feed. The farms meet higher environmental standards than conventional farms. The taste is noticeably better than cheap butter. It's richer and more complex with actual butter flavour, rather than just creamy blandness. The colour is deep yellow from beta-carotene in the grass the cows ate. Yeo Valley Organic Butter costs around £2.60 for 250 grams. This is mid-premium pricing, more expensive than Lurpak, but less than French premium butter. You're paying for organic certification and supporting British organic dairy farming. The texture is proper butter texture. It's firm when cold, soft at room temperature, and melts cleanly when heated. It doesn't have the greasy mouthfeel of cheap butter or the waxy texture of butter made from ultra-pasteurized cream. Available in most major supermarkets in the organic or premium butter section. This is the minimum quality worth buying if you eat butter regularly and care about where it comes from. Yeo Valley is a farmer-owned cooperative, meaning the profits go back to the farmers rather than to shareholders or corporations. This business model supports sustainable farming and ensures farmers receive fair prices for their milk. When you buy Yeo Valley, you're directly supporting British organic dairy farmers. Number 2. Kerrygold Pure Irish Butter. Kerrygold is Irish butter from grass-fed cows. Ireland's dairy farming is predominantly pasture-based, making Irish butter distinctively rich and golden. The ingredients are cream and salt for salted versions, or just cream for unsalted. Pure butter with nothing added. The grass-fed nature of Irish dairy farming gives Kerrygold its characteristic deep yellow colour and rich flavour. Ireland's climate allows year-round or near year-round grazing. The cows eat fresh grass most of the year, creating butter that's naturally high in beneficial compounds including omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin K2, and conjugated linoleic acid. The taste is rich and complex with a slight tanginess. It's substantially better than British value butter and noticeably different from standard British butter. The flavour is more pronounced without being overwhelming. Kerrygold costs around £2.90 for 250 grams. This is premium pricing but not extreme. You're paying for genuine grass-fed butter from Ireland's pasture-based dairy system. The texture is excellent. It spreads well when slightly softened and melts beautifully for cooking. Professional chefs often choose Kerrygold for finishing dishes because the flavour enhances rather than competes with other ingredients. Available in all major supermarkets, usually in the premium butter section. This is the butter to buy if you want noticeable quality improvement without spending £5 per block. Kerrygold is Ireland's most exported food brand. It's sold in over 60 countries worldwide. The success comes from consistent quality and the natural advantages of Irish grass-fed dairy farming. Irish butter has competed successfully against French premium butter in international markets because the grass-fed characteristics create a distinctive flavour and colour that consumers recognise and prefer. Number 1. Échiré AOP Butter. And the best butter you can buy in the UK is Échiré AOP butter. From France, this is traditional churn butter from a specific region using centuries-old methods. Échiré is from the Poitou-Charentes region of France. The Appellation d'origine protégée, AOP designation, means the butter must be made in this specific region, using traditional methods with milk from local cows. The butter is made in wooden churns using methods that haven't changed since the 19th century. The cream is cultured, fermented with lactic acid bacteria before churning. This creates complex, tangy flavour that distinguishes French butter from British sweet cream butter. The ingredients are cream and salt for salted versions, plus lactic ferments. The fermentation is what creates the characteristic flavour of premium French butter. The taste is extraordinary. It's tangy, complex, and intensely buttery. Spread on good bread, it needs nothing else. Used in pastry, it creates incomparably flaky layers. Melted over vegetables, it elevates simple food to restaurant quality. Echeray costs around £5.50 for 250 grams. This is extreme premium pricing, nearly 4 times the cost of cheap butter. But for people who care about butter quality, it's worth every penny. The texture is different from British butter. It's denser and more plastic when cold. At room temperature, it's creamy and spreadable with perfect consistency. The mouthfeel is rich without being greasy. Professional pastry chefs specifically seek out Echeray for laminated doughs like croissants and puff pastry. The butter's plasticity at cold temperatures makes it ideal for creating the multiple layers that give these pastries their characteristic flakiness. Available at Waitrose, Whole Foods and specialist food shops, not in budget supermarkets. This is butter for people who consider butter important enough to pay premium prices for the best quality. The Echeray Cooperative was founded in 1894. The wooden churns they use were installed in 1934 and are still in operation today. This commitment to traditional methods means production is limited. The cooperative can only make about 7,000 tons of butter annually, compared to hundreds of thousands of tons from industrial butter producers. This scarcity contributes to the premium price, but also ensures uncompromising quality. Now you know which butters to buy, but when should you use each type? For baking cakes and cookies, use mid-range unsalted butter like Lurpak or Anchor unsalted. The butter flavour is important, but not dominant. Premium butter isn't worth the extra cost here because other ingredients dilute the butter flavour. For pastry and laminated doughs, use premium butter like Kerrygold or Echeray. The butter quality directly affects texture and flavour in pastries. Premium butter's fat composition creates better layers and superior flakiness. For spreading on bread, use the best butter you can afford. When butter is the only fat on bread, quality matters enormously. Premium cultured butter like Echeray transforms simple bread into a special experience. For cooking vegetables, use mid-range butter. You want good butter flavour, but not such premium butter that you'll regret using it for simple cooking. For making brown butter or beurre blanc, use premium butter. These preparations showcase butter, so quality is paramount. The complex flavours in cultured butter enhance these classic preparations. For frying, use cheaper butter or clarified butter. High heat cooking doesn't benefit from premium butter because the delicate flavours are destroyed. Save expensive butter for applications where you'll taste it. Match the butter to its purpose. Don't waste premium butter where you won't appreciate it. Don't use cheap butter where quality makes a noticeable difference. So my take is, don't fear butter, but also don't eat it thoughtlessly. Use quality butter in appropriate amounts as part of an overall healthy diet. Stop buying spreadable butter, thinking it's real butter. It's 60% butter mixed with rapeseed oil. Stop buying butter alternatives marketed as healthier. They're processed vegetable oils, not butter. Stop assuming all butter is the same. Quality varies based on what cows eat and how butter is made. And if you found this useful, share this with anyone who's been making this mistake. Not only are you saving them money, but you are also keeping them healthy.